I think I kind of like that. Y'all, when I turned the app on, well, I don't know, maybe I should wait a minute because sometimes it takes this stuff a minute to catch up. And y'all, what I'm saying, I'm not trying to be mean, but when I turned the app on, I saw somebody, I was like, let me go back because I swiped so fast, right? I was like, that was like that other girl. And somebody said, who? Yeah, y'all gonna find out in a second. But anyway, let me get to the point. I'm on tic-tac-toe, right? I open up the app. That's the first thing they show me. I'm like, what is this? And I had to swipe. Before I even could blink, I had swiped. And then it dawned on me, I was like, who is that? Is that same person? So I went back to see it wasn't. But I noticed that they had a thing. I don't know what they call those. They don't put them over their whole head. They put them around their hairline. Like, I guess it's like a bandana, but it goes over the hair and then the skin. And of course, me, I'm smart enough to figure it out. I was like, well, wow, when they do that, because there's no other real reason to do that. When they do that, they don't want you to see where their hairline, stops and because it's not their real hair. And whatever that is that they got on their head begins. So by covering all of that up, I guess you just, cover all of it up, Uh, so anyway, hold on. I just don't want to bust out laughing too loud. But anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and touch on a little bit more because I don't know what, that channel is doing. But y'all, I just noticed something, and I like to talk about. I'm gonna start talking about some of the things that I see, primarily with Tasha K. Now I went over to look at her channel because a lot of times I just go and look. I never click because I'm not into the gossip and the lies and all of that. But I figured something out, and which I already knew it. She's messy, right? And her followers are messier, probably. I'm thinking that they're messier. And here's the kicker. She had to be stupid because none of those followers subscribers, none of those subscribers are paying a $3.9 million judgment. None of them are. And in fact, I guess some of those same subscribers are the reason that she's paying the $3.9 million. See how that works? I mean, I'm thinking they're the reason. Because they're saying, yeah, girl, do it, girl. You go, girl. Get her, girl. Drop it, girl. Have that interview, girl. Say what you want to say, girl. So I imagine she's listening to them. Some of the same ones. Probably the one who are trying to take her place. Yeah, I want to be messier than you, And the reason I say that is because something she wrote over there got to do with somebody else. The one that's on the Breakfast Club. Well, of course, they didn't select Tasha K for that. I don't think they'll ever select her for something like that. But shout out to Charlemagne the God, I'm sure he's heard of Tasha K. I mean, I'm not even sure if she's said anything defamatory about him or not. I mean, I could search the channel and find out. I really don't care that enough to find out. If I had to guess, she probably has. She probably has. You got to think about it, with a $3.9 million judgment over your head. You wake up, you go to sleep to it. Now, I don't know if it's been reduced. Let's say it's been reduced by $20, $25, $30, $35,000, however much. Let's just say it's been reduced by $50,000. Well, you might as well just still round it up to $3.9 million, right? That's a lot of money. So at this point, I understand why she's supposedly going to be going on tour this year, just like she did last year. And I'm looking at the timing of all of this. I'm like, well, yeah, she started paying the judgment last year, and of course she went on tour last year. So if I had to guess, she's gonna be doing that for the next 5 years, right? Going on tour every year. I'm assuming that's the money that she's living on. But I'm sure it has to be reported. Now she can play around with that money. All of that doesn't have to be reported. But I'm sure, anything she get off of all of these apps, all of that has to be reported. And I'm sure whatever she's getting off of her website, I don't know if there's a way to track all that stuff. But anyway, I'm sure she's figured out a way to put some money aside. And I'm sure Tasha K and her legal team have already been on that, because weren't they trying to find these different accounts, these hidden accounts that she had money, tucked away in, I don't know, probably in Africa or something. But I read one of the comments. It's like I saw the first comment, because I was like, wow, only 293 comments. Let's just say 300. Only 300 comments, right? And you got 1 million followers plus. It just, the math is not mathing on that. But I just looked and I clicked and I saw the first comment. I read the first comment, right? I was like, I wonder who this is. I clicked on the channel. Guess who it is? Somebody that do just what Tasha K does. Same kind of stuff. It looked like a cookie cutter channel of Tasha K channel. That's what it looked like. So I don't know, of course they want you to see that they have members and all of that. And y'all, what is it? Don't YouTube take half of that? They take half of that. That's like tic-tac-toe. They take half of whatever it is you get. So, and then plus the IRS got to get their portion of it and all of that. I don't know how they're doing it. But at the end of the day, is it really worth it though? Is it worth it to satisfy these followers that probably can't stand your guts, a lot of them? In fact, I guess they're playing in your face. The same ones that were playing in your face back when you was talking about Cardi B, right? You go, girl. Do it, girl. Go on and do it. And yeah, and so now, how many of them are helping you pay that $3.9 million judgment? Let's say somebody gave you $100 or $500. Let's just say they gave you $1,000 on it. Does it really make a difference? That's like dropping a penny. That's dropping less than a penny. What's 100% of a penny? If I had to guess, it's something like that. It's probably even less than that. So I don't know how they're doing it. But at the end of the day, it just makes me wonder, how does Tasha K's husband feel about this? Because I thought about that. Like right before I pressed live, I was like, I wonder how he feels about that. It's easy to get on here and, post a picture of your anniversary. It's only once a year, and men have to do that. Even if they don't like you, they have to do it. You know why? Because they want you to get them kids up, get them ready for school. They want you to cook and clean and whatever other duties, wifely duties that come along. So, yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm just asking myself. I don't want to be a fly on that wall. I just don't. But if I had to guess, I don't know any man that would be happy about that. Now I'm sure she has it separated or whatever, so it's all on her. But still, you have to look at the money that could be coming in that's going out. If only she had not done that. Imagine where they would be, Like she wouldn't be at zero. Her value would probably be at 4 million, maybe. I don't know. But because of, the little situation that she got herself into, in fact, I guess it's those subscribers and followers are the reason for it. Yeah, do it, girl. As they follow your blueprint, right? As they probably watch you try, probably as they hope that something happens and you lose everything, and then they can step right into the spot that you used to have. Now, they're going to be doing what you're doing? I'm guessing they won't. Certain things they just not going to do. But y'all, these followers are the reason that a lot of y'all are in, like, real upside down predicaments, you know? So, make better choices, you know? I mean, who wants an audience that is going to encourage you to get sued? They're going to tell you that. But what audience is going to encourage you to get yourself in a situation where now you got, and let's just say $4 million. You got a $4 million judgment. You know, people are stupid though. They just are. You know, those numbers do not mean you're smart. Listen, numbers can still mean that you're stupid. I mean, if your income is coming in and you're having to pay out a substantial portion of that, because I guarantee you, Cardi B is not gonna let this go. After 5 years, see, if I'm correct, I'm thinking Cardi B is thinking about, well, that's the money that can go into my kids' college fund. And of course, she's got another kid on the way, and I don't know if she's had it or not, y'all. I don't keep up with the celebrities like that. But if and when she has it, and if she already has it, I imagine that would be a good thing to do. Yeah, take that money, you know, and by the time they're 18, you know, I don't know if she will have paid, I don't know if that 3.9 million will have paid for that or not. But I'm thinking $1 million per child. Now, I don't know if she has 4 kids or not. If she does have 4, it'll be just a hair short of $1 million apiece. If it's 3, it'll be over $1 million apiece. But either way, you know, Tasha K will be funding that. So I'm guessing that Cardi B's probably thinking along those lines. Yeah. You know, I'll put this money in a trust fund for your colleges, you know, for your college educations, you know, and things of that nature. So I don't know how a husband would feel about that. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. A lot of money. And she can't get out of it. You know, you name it, she's tried it. So now it's to the point where misery loves company. She's out looking and, you know, conniving and slandering and poking her nose in everybody else's business. Want to know who else is going broke. Who else got a court case? Who else having whatever kind of problems? I'm guessing everything she's seeking is what she's going through. You know, the different marital problems, you know, the different financial problems, you know, I don't know. Whatever it is that she's making up about these different people, you know. I mean, I would think she probably is curious, you know. Who else has gotten themselves in some kind of a bind? She's probably comparing herself to celebrities. I think in her irrational, delusional mind, she thinks she's a celebrity. You know, she maybe thinks she's Wendy Williams or something like that. I'll bet money Charlemagne the God would not touch anything got to do with her. He has a brand. I mean, she's adding him. Is he responding? I don't know. Is he seeing it? Probably so. He probably saw who it's from and then swiped. You know? Smart move, Charlemagne the God. Very smart move.